little recruiting news. It does feel like LSU has, gotten a couple guys over the last couple of days. It feels like every time I open up social media, I see somebody in a Tiger uniform. Edit. Tate, who is joining, well, as we know, soft maybe, this signing class for LSU?
Well, so going back to last Wednesday, they got 5-star edge Trenton Henderson.
Yep.
Like, that was a big one you have to have. And then on 4th of July, like Brian Kelly and his staff, they had a pretty good 4th of July. Isaiah Washington out of Haynesville. He's listed as a safety, 6'3", so really good size on him, only 170, but plays quarterback for the team as well. They say he can play corner and safety, so Olsen and Raymond both led his recruiting. Look, he's a solid player. And then you have Bryson Cooley, a 4-star offensive tackle. He's a big one. He's 6'6", 315 pounds. He's a 4-star player. He's out of the state of Mississippi. Like, that gives you 4 commitments because you got Emmanuel Tucker, who we talked about a couple weeks ago. You have Jalen Chapman. You have Bryson Martinez right there out of EA. You basically got 2 guards, 2 tackles in this class. Like, this class is coming along nicely. And get this, like, you go look at On3's rankings.
Yep.
You only have 14 commits. A couple other teams have 25. But you're still 7th overall in team rankings. So, like, at least to On3, like, it's a quality over quantity at this point. Like, it's only going to continue to grow if you can keep these guys.
And you have yet to get your quarterback for this class. And so once you do that, because I don't think you can go anymore without getting a quarterback in every class. Once you do that, it's going to continue to go up. And so to your point, it is 7th, but when you talk about who they have in the class, it's as impressive as anybody. I mean, I feel like they're like top 3 at the end of this deal. At least it feels like it.
Yeah, it looks like it. Now, speaking of 4th of July, they did lose a big one. Booby Feaster.
Yeah.
It's kind of a little bit under the radar. He's going to USC, which, what a choice there, Booby. But he's not in. But you're holding on to Tristan Keys, at least right now, 5-star receiver out of Mississippi. Like, you get that quarterback in because your DB class is coming along nicely. That's kind of a question mark on your team this year. Your O-line class looks really good. That's a question mark on the team this year. Like, you get that quarterback in there, everything else around it looks pretty solid. Like, yeah, this could be a top 5 class easy.
It's interesting. We kind of talked about this last week, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago, about the quarterback position when it comes to high school recruiting. It's, to me, it's not quite as important that you land one every year because of, we have such a.
You can get one if you miss now.
You can get one,
but it just feels like
already qualified.
It feels like they want to add one.
I think you want to add one every year. That's the goal.
Yeah.
But I don't think you press and you settle for one every year, especially with a big dynamic class coming next year as well. And then just the ability to, LSU, of course, has 2 Heismans at quarterback in the last 6 years. So it's like you can go recruit some guys that are ready to play right now if you need it. So this day and age in college football, it's not quite as important that you hit every single year.
Right.
I think you try to, and you pick and choose the guys you want, but I don't think that you just have to fall back on someone just because you want a quarterback and you need just another guy or another arm or whatever it is. Now, you could take a 3-star guy and he hits and he becomes the best quarterback you've ever had, but you just don't have to, especially with 2027 class coming a year after that.
Well, I mean, in this last class, you were able to get Micah Van Buren, who's a young player, but he has started a year in the SEC, and that's kind of your quarterback for this last year. And you're right. Like, when you have the opportunity to add a top 10 quarterback, like, no matter how you look at it, LSU is going to add a top 10 quarterback next year. It might be the number 1 overall quarterback. There's so many guys with so many Louisiana ties, guys from the state of Louisiana. Nussmeier's brother, even though he's in Texas, that's a tie. I mean, we even went like Gunnar Rivers, Phillip Rivers' son. Well, his uncle Steven, who coaches him, he signed and played for LSU. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a ton of ties. There's like 5 guys. I think there's 3 top 15 quarterbacks in Louisiana, and those 2 that we mentioned. There's 5 guys that you got some pretty strong ties to.
Yeah, and you'll be recruiting all of these guys off of a year. I mean, you're going to come into this season, and you know, it remains to be seen how the season works out from a team standpoint on wins and losses. It's going to how the close games are going to pan out. But offensively, you're going to be good. You're going to put up numbers. You're going to put up stats. You're going to put up an offense that looks really good to recruits and you can sell on and you can recruit with. So no matter how that works out, it's going to look good. So you're right. I mean, you will bring in top-tier talent year in, year out. It's just if some of those guys don't pan out, if there's a couple of guys this year that don't want to come to LSU because of the class next year, which I would never understand that as an 18-year-old, but it's not a panic button situation just because, I mean, it's LSU's got to be one of the, if not the highest coveted position to come to as a quarterback.
Well, not only because of the quarterbacks and them having 2 Heisman Trophy winners, but also the receivers.
Yeah, they're pretty decent around here.
They're like, if you look up in the NFL, it's like 4 of the top 10 receivers are from LSU. And those are just in the last 6 years. So also, like, you know who you're going to be throwing the football to and some of the numbers that LSU's been putting up through the air. Like, did we think 10 years ago we would be sitting here talking about 2 Heisman Trophy quarterbacks? Now, you've always had receivers. That's nothing new. I mean, Louisiana produces receivers at a very high clip. But if I'm a quarterback, knowing I'm going to be throwing to those Jimmies and Joes, knowing what the quarterbacks have done here over the last couple of years, I don't really know why you would look anywhere else. If you have a tie, if you're from this area, if you're from this region, it's like that is like the standard right now. And then what Nuss is doing right now, Nuss is, you know, no matter where you look, he's got top 5 Heisman odds.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. It's like LSU. This is the old head talking to us right here. This is as an LSU fan saying, wow, we have such a good offense. It's the defense we got to worry about. When for so long it has been opposite of that here at LSU, especially for a decade. We had the best defense every single year, one of the best defenses in the country. We just got to get past the 50. Like we got to figure out how to do this, and it just switches on you in a blink of an eye. And a couple years ago, when Jaden's last year, it's like, man, can we just stop somebody from getting across the 50?
Can they not score one time? Because if they don't score once, LSU's got a chance.
Just not every time, please. But no, you're right. I mean, if you're looking around the country, there's a lot of desirable places, and I know now there is an extra element with the money that comes into play.
Yeah.
Money, opportunity, business opportunity, all these different things start to come into play. But I got a hard time believing anybody out there who's got a top 5 quarterback ranking in high school is not at least taking a good, hard gander at LSU. Now, I got a question on the recruits. How are they announcing this? Are they still putting them in the toy box on social media?
No, so
that's when they sign.
When
they sign, okay.
It did blow your mind when I told you that actually is something that
I thought
exists. It's not a Photoshop.
It was just completely Photoshopped. So they're physically putting these kids in a toy box.
Yes, I've seen it.
Can we just not put them in toy boxes anymore? That's my one request.
What do you want to put them in?
Let's just do like maybe just a headshot.
You know how this thing works now. It ain't gonna be just a headshot.
There's 2 things that kind of bug me. It's the toy box,
and then the backwards L,
and the backwards L in pictures.
I wish y'all knew how bad the backwards L triggers this
so like
guy.
when you're side by side with somebody, when the guy on the right, he can put his right hand up, right side L. Well, it's your left hand. If you're standing on the left side of a picture, it's your left hand that's free, so you can't throw a normal L up, so you got to flip the wrist and go backwards.
Yeah.
I hate it.
What do you want him to do? Throw up a backwards L?
Let's just not throw the L up.
Well, that's just because they didn't do that when we were playing. That's a backwards L. Nobody wants to do that. You got to flip that.
No, you can't flip it. That bothers me so much. I don't like the toy box, and I don't like the backward L. I don't know if that's a hot take.
I think it's an old man take.
It's an old man take. I don't know. Backward L. It just looks silly.
All right, we'll be back.
I think some people are agreeing with me.